Emergency down here. Website has no marketing, no email marketing, no social media marketing of any kind, and it's not even ranking on the first page of Google. Over. 10-4, Mighty Mike and his marketing SWAT team are en route. Over.
You are listening to Business Marketing 911 with Mighty Mike and his marketing SWAT team. So buckle up and get ready because the episode is beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alrighty. I didn't realize how long that intro was until I did about a couple dozen of those. What's up, you guys? Welcome to the show. I'm so excited about our guest today. Jenny Ambrose is the founder and award-winning design scientist, strategy studio, Purée Fantastico. I'm so excited to have you on, Jenny. How you doing?
Great. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm sitting here like trying to click the mouse so I could put your intro in my arm shaking. I'm like mighty this is what happens when you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the gym and try to do it all. But I am excited to be here with you and to talk all about your marketing superpower, which is one of the things that is so exciting when you start business. And it's something that sometimes people get hung up on for a long time and they don't actually take action. So tell us really quick, how did you even get started in marketing? Like, why is this even a thing that you are good at?
You know, it's one of those things where I was good at it before I even knew the word. I live to communicate and I live to help other people communicate what they want. I mean, what we're talking about is branding. And in reality, branding is simply knowing how to communicate intangible things. So if you're going to watch a perfume commercial, you can't smell that cologne or perfumes through the TV. And that's why they have all these random, obscure, weird commercials, because how do you communicate a smell without smell-o-vision? And branding is essentially the same. How do you communicate who you are showing up as for your clients and customers without them having to meet you or talk to you first? And that is who I am. And I just learned branding and marketing is what you call it.
Well, what's interesting is like when, I'll watch commercials with my girlfriend and be like, that's relationships. There's a few things that we really tend to care about. And branding, if you can think about that, like what do my potential customers actually care about? Then you can position your marketing and your branding in a way that's going to give you the best bang for your buck, if you will.
Yep.
In other words, you don't want to say, use a bunch of jargon, slang words, with a demographic like an older generation talking about the Apple iPad Pro and all this kind of stuff. And they're like in the
disruptor. It's just, it's going to fall on deaf ears. Yeah. And how I work with my clients, it's actually kind of pulled back a little bit. How do I want them to feel? How do I want them to feel with me? How do I want them to feel about my work? What does that experience look like? What's that sound like? And those are the questions that if you can answer, will build you a marketing plan, will build you a strategic development plan that works for you.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can think about where you're going and what you can do, that's great. So we're going to dive into some stuff here today. Here in just a little bit, we're going to do some website insights. So you guys stick around. But what I want you guys to do, if you're watching this, go ahead and comment below your website. If you don't have a website, comment, I don't have a website. We're not going to beat up on you too bad in the comment section for not having a website if you own a business. But definitely want to do that so you can win the $3,000 in website credits. Okay, $3,000 in website credits. You get entered to win. And then, of course, even if you have a website, you got to bang the heart button. One of these, we're going live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and hopefully pretty soon LinkedIn. So as the show grows and we get more and more episodes and more wonderful marketers and business professionals like Jenny on, then we are going to we're gonna have a lot of fun. So good stuff. All right, so let's dive in. I got a couple questions when it comes to branding.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm a new business owner, just started my business. I have an idea, right? Let's say I want to have this mighty arm right here. Let me put it up there. That's my mighty website builder arm there. Let's say that's what I have, right? That's my brand, but I don't have really anything else. What do you position it around? What do you surround it around? I know they say you either have a brand or you have a logo. What's
Mm.
there's a Seth Godin talks about that. What do you think about that?
Well, a brand I feel like is the room. It's the space. It's not, oh, I have a lamp and there's a couch and where do I sit? No, no, no. When you enter a room, you know what you're supposed to do because of the things that are placed there and because of the design of the space. This is a brand. The logo is, I have a lamp. I turn on
Mm,
my lamp, I turn off my lamp, and that's what my lamp does. A logo is, this is the name of my business. But it doesn't really communicate what that experience is going to feel like. Are you positioned a high end? Are you positioned a low end? If you
mm,
look at Old Navy, Old Navy's logo is an oval, Old Navy, but their brand is happy, colorful, accessible. There's so many more descriptors that don't even talk about the logo or what it looks like or the font or the color. It's about
right,
feelings.
right.
Feelings. And so when you can drill down on what a new business owner, start. You said you had an idea. Start with that idea. Watch how people respond to this idea. Watch how you feel about people responding to this idea. Course correct where necessary. And that's how you move to a brand that is, the Nike level, the professional level, because they start and they course correct where necessary.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true, because and you may not have a whole lot of money, right, to get out there and do all kinds of testing and surveys to find out what your potential customers want. But you just listen, put an ear to the ground. I love, even though we all hate surveys, some people will fill them out. And I love the idea of actually giving something in return. A lot of the restaurants will do like a free something. I almost never fill them out. If I ever fill them out, it's because I think that the person who helped me did such a good job that I want to make sure that they're recognized. And I feel like if you understand how people are, like me, like the way that I want to do that, and then position it around there. So now you ask your people to ask for a survey. Hey, it really helps me out. It makes me look good if you leave a survey. You know, People are more likely to do it than to get a free Big Mac or whatever, whatever receipt. Um,
I
show your
always fill out the survey.
receipt.
I always fill out
So
the
you're one of
survey.
those.
I
Okay.
am. Well, it's like, because I know as a business owner how much other people's input is necessary and helpful. And so I just sort of, well, if I put in, I'll get out. If I
Yeah.
put in, it'll come back to me. And so it's like
Okay.
a 5-second survey. I mean, even if it's not relevant,
Yeah.
I will consider it and help someone out.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. It's interesting. The whole karma is kind of like karma, right? It'll come
Yeah.
back to you. It'll come back to you in a juicy pie. What is it? Pizza.
Oh yeah, delicious. I'm from New Jersey, so everything revolves around pizza. Um, but my first awareness of marketing stemmed from a survey. I was in my internship in college, and I got this project to help the admission office with their latest thing. And it was like a trapper keeper folder with 3 pieces of paper. Like, it was nothing, but it was a $20,000 a year art school.
Mm.
So I'm like, what's with this nothingness you're trying to sell me? And their budget was, I think, like $800. And they were complaining that the people who went to the school weren't as high as people who were accepted into the school. And I think it was like 33%. And they were complaining, oh, well, Cal Arts and SCAD, they boast 77 and 90%. It's like, well, what are they getting? What are they getting in return for their investment? And so I asked the students, why did you choose this school? Did you look at other schools? What about this? I mean, really simple questions. And then I went back to my client and I'm like, here are the answers you are overlooking. Here is our position opportunity. and I increased the budget to $5,000. They still do the practice to this day of the results of this survey. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, there's a lot of different ways to figure out how you're doing, and I feel like that's part of the problem. Is now
Mm,
nowadays people are like, I got a business, I need a website, and everything's canned in that statement. It's like, if you only knew that the website was just the beginning, and that, like,
yeah. Well, I
A/B
mean,
testing and everything else.
what's going on this website? What are the words on this website? What's this website look like? I mean,
What's the goal of the
what
website? What do you
what do
want
you
them
want
to
people to
do?
do on this website? And there's so many answers there, but I think at least it's a good start in the recognition that it is an imperative. And if you don't have one, recognizing that you need one is a good place to be.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I feel like this might be a good time to jump into the website review, because we got some good value there, and we can use it on this website. So, just to preface, we've actually reviewed quite a few websites now, and we've notaries and process servers and attorneys and paralegals, um, uh, document preparation companies, all kinds, right? And so today, what we're going to do is we're actually going to review the National Association of Process Servers website. I think it would be really beneficial to, because I'm actually building one for the Texas Association, and so it'll be cool to kind of dive in and see, like, and we'll talk about the goals. It'll be very useful, because I realized, as I was building this Texas Private Investigators Association's website, I realized that sometimes websites have multiple goals. If you have a service, well, you're trying to sell that service, and maybe have a few services, so you position them out, in different ways, and have different sections, and then you have links across the top for specific services. But when it comes to associations, it's very multifaceted. It's almost like having two businesses, two
Mhm.
giant group. So let's go ahead and dive into it here. Are you ready for some website insight?
Oh, yes.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me try that again. Let's see here. How do I do? Are you ready for some website insight?
Oh, yes.
I'll zoom in. The drama is great here.
Bum,
Okay.
bum, bum. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. So here we are. This is the National Association of Professional Process Servers. They actually spend a lot of money. I won't go into details, but on search engine optimization, and they're starting to rank across the country in areas. And I think that's great and stuff. But first off, looking at this right away, I'm like, it's a '90s theme. 94, maybe 98 theme. If you're spending that much money, like, let's go ahead and upgrade it. That's just my first, and we're going to talk about some really good things here too, but I like to give a complete and honest review when I do these. So what is the first thing that stands out at you, Jenny?
The robotic lack of personality. And I get that it is, an association of professional process servers,
Mhm.
yet there can still be a tone, there can still be an expression.
Yeah.
Even health insurance companies have more
Uh,
personality going on than this. Also, don't love the vibrant red on top of, like, I don't know, Nazi eagle and the blue.
did you say
Um,
did you say Nazi eagle?
I did say Nazi eagle. I'm not sure why that's here.
I don't
Um,
know. I don't know. I mean, I like an eagle in general, but yeah, that's interesting. That
a little.
now that you mention it, it almost looks like one of those things that they did have on their suits, the Nazi people. The Anyway, I don't know what it's called. I'm sounding ignorant now, but yeah, okay. So they don't really have like a brand
Well, they do, and
feel.
that's the thing. You end up. It's sort of like how no decision is a decision in and of itself. You end
Okay.
up creating the brand by its lack of intention. And that's what we're looking at here. So,
Mhm.
like how you said they spend a lot of money on SEO, wonderful. Spend a teensy bit more money in how visually that comes together. What is that website experience?
Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, we could look at some other examples, but there's a bunch of people. Just search associations, and if you're watching this and you're in charge of this website, I know a couple people who might be interested to know what we're saying here. And so, if that's you, look at some of these other association websites and get some ideas for layouts, because I feel like there's a lot here. Like, let's talk a little bit about purpose. So I'll tell you kind of the purpose that I know, and then we can go from there. So obviously, I do like how they have right here either become a member or find a processor. I feel like they understand the purposes and they kind of laid them out here right in the beginning. Join.
I think too small though for the hierarchy of their purpose. I feel like these 3 modules in a different layout would go underneath the hero space. And that the
Right.
welcome to the National Association would be the hero space.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like this is down here. Yeah, that's
Yep.
true. Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is the themes back in the 90s. This is how it was set up, right? It was set up like a.
I mean, Ambrose shorts were set up in the 90s. We're not all wearing Ambrose shorts right now. Like
Or
we've
the
just
cargo pants, the army cargo pants.
or
Yeah.
Jenko's. One of my students is obsessed with the 90s. It's a very jarring experience. It was 30 years ago. Oh, archive.org.
Yeah. Let's
The
see
best.
what's going on here. Let's get out of there. Let's do this. This it might take a minute, but let's do this. Okay, I'm curious. Let's go back to the 90s and see what this looked like. I'm willing to bet pretty dang close.
It's like with bated breath. No, that is way worse. They have improved this.
They have improved quite a bit. Look at how many changes. They had some changes going on here. Let's just go back a few years. What is this? 2016.
Okay, well, we've improved from that. Good job.
User error. Okay. Or no, 404 error. Okay, let's see what this says. So bear with us here. This, those of you guys that don't know, Wayback Machine, I think now it's just called archive.org. You can actually look and see, it takes like a little snapshot in a way of websites and what they look like a while back. So what's interesting about this is their 2016 version, and the hero space, that the whole welcome thing that we were just looking at, it's gone. But from 2016 to now, this is this is the same. Do you see any difference here?
Well, I wonder how many meetings they've had. Because I've worked in corporations where you have 2-hour-long meetings about one thing, and the agreement is to talk about it later.
Yeah, that's what you'd end up deciding on. We'll talk about it later. We got the same kind of image thing going on. Okay. All right. So good stuff. Okay. All right. So Wayback Machine, kind of the same folks here, looks like too. So the same people. All right. So about the purpose, like what is the purpose of the website? I love to really drill on this. Like if I'm a member, if I want to become a member, so let's just say the design needs a lot of work. Okay. But let's push that aside for a second. The branding, and I know that's what your expertise is. So don't beat me up here. Okay. The branding, but just for a second, its usefulness. If I want to become a member of this association, I should be able to click here and become a member very quickly. Right.
But it is difficult to not bring up design because the hierarchy is so skewed. If I click on join now and I go to this page, apply for membership is like apply. Like it's very wimpy. There's no call to action.
Is it a button? I don't know. Until I hover over it, I don't even know I can click on it, right? And then once I click on it, let's say I'm going to go ahead and click on it.
Oh, it's wimpy. There's no presence.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is making this so easy. Like in the beginning, you talked about what is branding, about how when you walk into a room, you know what to do right away. You see what it is and you're like, oh, they want me to click there. right? Or in this case, we click on one of the window pages that takes us into become a member, and it's ambiguous. It's like a bunch of text that I have
Yeah,
to read.
it's escape room. It's not a
Yeah.
living room anymore. It's like, does this happen? Is this what I do here? And who has time?
Yeah,
Who has
yeah.
the inclination?
It's like walking into a dark room and where the light switch should be, it's not. And
Yep.
you're like,
Really
okay,
making awkward choices as you smush your
yeah,
body along a
yeah.
wall.
Yeah. So design, you're right. Design is a really big part of building your website and funneling, click funnels. We can get into that too. I mean, the whole idea is you're pushing them to a direction, to a choice that you want them to, that they want to make. That's why they clicked on it to begin with.
When 1,000 years ago, when we were able to go and socialize, you would have yard sale signs. And you would go and they'd say, yard sale this way, yard sale this way, and they direct you to sell their stuff.
Mm.
This is what's missing in this specific website. Like, I am there and I'm like, all right, well, I'm in the development. Where's the stuff on your lawn? And that's not what you want to ask from people. You want to just make it as easy as possible to get what you want out of it, and in a natural way. That's not like, oh, they just want to get stuff out of me way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. No, I like it. Making it simple, making it easy, and then going from there. So let's dive back in here for 1 second. Look at the other purpose. So of course they could click here. See, they did a little better by making this text red, right? They a little bit better, but not a whole lot, right? And so when I come over here and I go search for a process server, just functionally this is effective because you're always going to have the zip code for an address, so um, let's see, 32835. So this is effective. I like to give credit where it's due.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, I search, and these are all, you can go on there, it's public, so I don't mind showing this. But these guys are the closest ones based on miles to the zip code I just entered. So very functional. Let's see if I'll click on this. Okay, there's his info. Okay, I could print it. So in the manner of function, that's really good. Is there any way you think brand wise, design wise, that they could have made this better?
No, because I feel like design can sometimes get in the way of functionality where it is needed to support.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly as it needs to be. And even when you clicked on the name, let's click on somebody's name. The hierarchy here, like, I see the name, I see the counties, I see that, like, the hierarchy is laid out in an appropriate way for me getting what I need to get.
Mm-hmm. You're not confused at all. You're not
No,
stopping and going, what?
and I'm not like all up in my screen being like, what is this? What am I looking at? Like, and that's a big deal too.
Mhm. Her name is bolded, that's the
Yep.
name. You got and it's different, so it lays out the titles of what the things are. And then too, I have options. There's nothing worse than some of these like window websites where you click on it, it takes you in there, and then in order to find out the information they know you want, you have to put in your email address or you have to call them or something, without having a website to
Yeah.
go to their,
Well,
it's like,
the gateways,
yeah.
to get what you want. I don't understand why make things challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So those two functions are really their main two purposes. And then after that, this is the one other comment. I know event obviously is another, notifying their current members of the events that are coming up. But all these links, I mean, when I first came to the website, and I get that it's an association, so it's going to have a lot of resources and stuff, and that's why all this. But what is your opinion on this? I believe in like having less links and maybe just calling it resources and having like a resources page that like lists all this out, because again, your three main purposes are pretty clear.
I would look into maybe a secondary navigation, or like you said, resources. It
Yeah.
really would be about organization and the purpose of these links, because you could have a members only portal, you could have a members only section that had members only specific links, and it doesn't have to be all up there on the front page.
That's true. And then how much of this right here, because I clicked on it, it wants me to log in, right? So how much of this is like a sales tactic, like, well, I'm not a member. I feel like, to me, if I click on it and I can't log in, I'm like, oh, why is it on here if I can't look at it?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Let's see. Blogs are always good because this could be your resources page.
Yeah, but I don't know if you need the drop down menu for blogs, and you just go to the blog, and on the blog they have their sections. Like, it just seems to be too much information at front when you could just hold that information when they get to it.
I like that. I like the idea of having like a members page. If I'm a member, there's a members page, like it says login over here somewhere, and I can log into my members page. I don't have to have all of this.
Well, and then it's like a different experience. I mean, not to be exclusionary, but it is an inclusive, members. I mean, you have a whole positionable moment.
Right. That's another whole thing. Like, what are the benefits of being a member? A lot of times, the thing that I hate the most when I talk to some of these associations, is they talk about what the association does for the industry and keeping it alive and stuff. And I agree with that. And I understand the premise behind it. The thing that frustrates me is, like, if I'm a customer, if I'm a member, I don't care. Like, I care in the long run, and okay, it's more of a secondary benefit that you support the industry and that you do legislation. How are you going to help me?
Yep. What's the industry doing for me? Why am I needing to support this? And it has to go both ways.
Yeah. And I know some people would look at that and go like, well, you're just being no, like that's good business, right?
Yeah.
You have to look at like, what does this do for me? And from a marketing perspective, Jenny, I know you'll know this, you'll agree with me on this, is like, that has to be crystal clear if someone's going to pull their credit card out of their wallet and pay for your membership.
The need for empathy inside of the business setting is huge. And I think we're seeing that now in 2020, where it's like, well, these are all these people that support the industry. Now, what are we doing for them? How do we do that in the back end? And so even if it's just 10% off participating restaurants, or like, I don't know, some sort of club thing that you give back to people who are supporting the industry, and then it becomes its own little thing, which is a marketing approach in and of itself.
And they actually do have, just to be completely transparent here, they do have benefits. If you go down to the member benefits, like I feel like, and just to take this, I want to be transparent, but I also want to say, like, if this is my benefit, become a member and then join. Well, maybe I'm not ready to join. They call it the bridge page or a window page. Like, why do I want to become a member?
Yep.
If I should be able to click on join NAPS, right? And then and then instead of having all of these ways I can join, having it clear right here on this page.
Show. Because like, what does an image of someone with a pen on paper communicate about becoming a member in this space?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing. And then you're going to click on a link and bring me to more links, and that does not communicate any sort of camaraderie or belonging or helping, or like, none of this is present. And that's really going to sell what you want to sell to people.
You know what this would sell to? This would sell, now that I'm thinking about this and thinking about the people who put it together, this sells to an old demographic that is used to reading, not used to YouTube generation type stuff. They're used to reading and links and keeping it more simple. The problem is the average process server now is in his 40s, and
images are not new technology.
You're not going to give them a pass on this one.
Like,
you're not going to give them a pass.
Pictures existed in like the 1890s. So it's okay to use imagery that communicates to your market. Maybe it's like a group of elderly people with a 40-year-old person. Like, I'm literally showing shaking hands, smiling, person.
Yeah.
Person.
Yeah. And they do that a little bit on the homepage as you scroll down a little bit. They have that a little bit down here.
Yeah, but come on, below the fold,
Yeah.
that still exists.
This should be right below the hero space. This should be welcome to this, and maybe even a video or some kind of parallax scrolling happening, something design wise. But but at the very least, if this is one of my two main purposes, so we give them a passing grade, right? Wouldn't you say on finding a server? This is a tool that I found someone
Yeah.
0.1 mile away.
I
So
just like there is no reason for this to not be a database of process servers searchable by a zip code
yeah,
versus a reputable association's website.
right. And
And
so
that's where I live, where it's like, yeah, this works as a website. I can find what I need in terms of the association having any sort of prestige or recognition. No, that is, I do not
right.
purchase that, sir.
Yeah. But this would be my quick recommendation. It would
Yeah.
take 15 minutes. Take this whole group, because this is great. I mean, this is great. I mean, we send process servers send out UPS stuff anytime. I had a membership there. I mean, they have quite a few that I know they're proud of because I've heard of them talking about it. So take Jiffy Lube. I take my car. So take this in some different fashion, maybe just the images with a little link underneath so they can find out more, and then stack all these images on this page and say member benefits. So when I hit this page, I'm like, whoa, I go to Jiffy Lube, whoa, I go to whatever. And then underneath that listen, this is an association that has hundreds of like diehard like cult like fans, people who get work because they exchange work with each other. There's no reason why they can't have let's go to my website real quick, just as a quick example. Like, there's no reason why they can't have reviews galore as you scroll and have that, Naps has provided me so much work and blah blah
Yep.
blah. What would you do? What other things have you seen that you would add to a page like that?
I would realize the opportunity. So, like, tucking away the list of people that you can work with or partner with, that's a missed opportunity. And so I do exactly as you said. I would actually combine them all in a nice composition on the back. I would have a section that says become a member, benefits of becoming a member, then the search.
Oh, and then this tool.
Yep. That's what I would do because it's like events, great. We are living in a time where events are irrelevant at this current time. And then I would do a quick thing where it's like, here's how people are really using this. Use
So
this.
you're saying do that on the homepage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a thing, because if that's how people are using it, there's diehard fans. In my brain, I'm like, really? But because I don't live in process server world.
Yeah.
And this representation does not lead me to want to be in this world.
Right. And this is and I agree with you, and I feel like the homepage is like your prime real estate. And if I hit this page, and there's two different types of people that hit this page, either a process server who might want to become a member, and also they use servers in other areas, so they'll search the zip code, right? But the other person that's going to come here is an attorney. And nowadays, attorneys are spending tens of thousands of dollars on websites that are real fancy, real nice. Design is on point. Coming here and not having heard about these people at all, being a marketer, my first reaction here is that this is like a 90s old templated website. And I know it's not 90s. We looked at
But the connotation as you use 90s is antiquated.
Yeah.
And the colloquial term is janky.
Okay, here's 2008. Wow, I know the 90s theme. There was a 90s theme, or no, 2000. I can't remember. 2009 theme, I think it was what it was. That looks a lot like the one that they have. I
think it's just recognizing the priorities that people use this website, and then capitalizing on what's working and reorganizing what's unnecessary for the homepage.
Yep. I think that's good. So you guys take those tips. If you're watching this, Jenny's dropping the major value bombs on us today. And we got a couple more things to do before we wrap it up here. First, Jenny, what is your like parting piece of advice? I mean, we beat up on these guys a little bit. We gave them some credit, but what is your parting piece of advice for that professional who, let's say they built their website, they got their website. What do they do? What's the next step?
Well, you want to think about how you naturally work with your clients and your customers. And your next step could be refining your message, refining your visual message. And 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, because whichever one you choose, you have to do the other one. And what I would choose there is, how do you want people to feel? How do you want people to feel around your work? And work from that space. And if that sounds too woo-woo for you, allow me to present Wendy's as a commercial. Wendy's on Twitter. If you are aware of Wendy's on Twitter, they are savage AF. So they are completely comfortable with the fact that the brand voice that you have is different for whatever context you're in. The brand voice on your website, professional, buttoned up, you don't know me, hello, I'm polite. The brand voice on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, let's kick back, let's have a beer, we're friends now. And so you are free to have that space and still be professional.
I like that.
This is the thing that is the antidote for what I was so harshly ripping on the National Association of Process Servers for, because there is no personality, there's no human quality there. So
yeah, I love that. And as somebody who likes target marketing, probably more than anybody, I love the idea of not spending money on somebody who doesn't want to see my ad, right? And so the idea that Wendy's has this professional website, that's like their house. It's like you're going to mow your lawn out front of your house. You're going to make sure the driveway doesn't have stains in it or whatever. That's Wendy's website. Yeah. And then Instagram is like that cool Halloween party that you go to with your 20-something-year-old friends that you got to be a little cooler at. You got to dress up a little bit. And that's LinkedIn, and then TikTok, of course, goes even more crazy, but they still.
That's that back room. That's that back room when they're doing bad stuff.
whatever it is, it's something that the people on that platform can appreciate.
Yeah.
Like on Facebook, it might be a live where they're, I don't know, but whatever your brand is, whatever your thing is, focus on that platform and how it will best be optimized. Like LinkedIn is another example where essentially they're going to do a live video from their front lawn with their house, because they're professional. They got to stay professional on LinkedIn, and stuff. So yeah, I was actually talking to another realtor about having a real estate podcast, and we're like, we could do this, we can do that. And then he said, oh, we can do this other thing. I was like, not that. And he said, we still have to, you want to be to a point where they could still sit down at a table with you and sign a contract to sell your house.
Yeah.
You can't go to a point where you've crossed that line, where now it's your,
unless you're like Joe Francis of Girls Gone Wild fame, and like that's your real estate. And this is true. Like, as someone who brands people, it is my job not to judge. It's my job to find the opportunity in who they want to be and where they'd like to sit in the market. And so in that way, everything is humanly possible as long as it makes sense for you.
That's true. That's true. You get the Dan Brazilians of the world, selling their
Richard Branson holding a model naked, and he's professional and successful. There's no reason why you can't be holding a model naked if that's the role you want to do.
All right, I got permission. No.
Well, yeah, I feel like that's the truth of professionalism, is that confidence of saying, this is who I am, this is how I see it, this is how I'd like to do my business, and that's it. So if you do need permission, you have it. Please take it, because life's too short. Life's too short. There will be tons of people to pay you.
That's good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. So, and ultimately what we're trying to do is get people to know, like, and trust us.
Yep.
And that's this whole idea with websites and marketing and this kind of stuff, knowing the purpose. If you ask most people what the purpose is to get people to their website to buy their stuff, or to pay me for my service. And that one may be obviously that's what you want. That's the reason why you go and purchase things to get it going. But instead, if you just tell yourself, okay, no, I just want everyone to know who I am, and then build some kind of reputation with them. And then if I get an opportunity, gain their trust by providing that service that I was hoping that they would do, you know. And sometimes you're just providing value for free that you know
Yep.
you may not, like you were saying, you know, giving those those
Surveys.
surveys, yeah, you know.
Well, and
So
it helps the waiters. Like, and that's who I am. Like, I don't do promos. I don't have like the law. I just don't participate in that because my role in business is service.
that's
I
good.
walked away from $106,000 to do my a year to do my business. I'm not interested in the. I make money, but I'm more interested in making the difference and in seeing marketing become more empathetic and ethical.
Yeah, and if you understand, you know, like I love Tony Robbins talks about the, you know, the two turkeys, whatever. He the first year he got up enough money. He's I need to start doing something good, you know, and without going into the whole thing, you know, now he feeds millions and millions of people every Thanksgiving. He has this huge fundraiser that he does. And he said that's the reason now. Now it's like maybe I can feed 2 billion next year, you know, and that's his drive. So he's like, I got to make more money. And so I think that's why he gets blessed to be able to make more money because he has such a big mission of helping others. It's not just about himself. So that's good.
Yeah.
So how can we keep up with everything that you have going on over at Purée Fantastico?
Oh, welcome to it. Fantastico. There's Facebook, Instagram. I am on LinkedIn. I blog regularly about messaging and culture and how we can be more ethical and honest about that. There is a small typo, if you'll forgive me, www. But like we live in 2020, so like we need the
I don't
W.
even think you have to include the W. As long as the person set it up right.
But yeah, I call my services the muchness because I'm relentless, and that's just the truth.
All right. Well, that's good stuff. So to finish out today's interview and website insight, we have a winner. And for those of you guys that don't know, every single week we give away $3,000 in website credits. In order to qualify, you have to enter your website below. Just comment your website. If you don't have a website, go ahead and comment, I do not have a website. And no matter what platform you're on, we're streaming on 8 different platforms. So no matter what platform you are on, we will go ahead and enter you to win. So thank you so much, Jenny. And let's go ahead and dive into the winner. Go ahead and announce it. Actually, let me do a countdown. I like to.
Oh, you went to.
Just kidding. We're not going to wait for 30 seconds. Go for it. Who's the winner?
David Blanton!
Woo! David Blanton's the winner. Good job, man. Hey, David, you know, reach out to me if you're not watching this. Guys, if you know David, reach out to David. Tell him he's a winner. And you're all winners, okay? But he's a winner of $3,000 in website credits, meaning he's going to meet with me. We're going to go over his website. If he doesn't have one, I'm going to build one for him, including online ordering and everything. So it's a no-brainer, definitely. So Jenny, thank you so much for coming on. We gotta stay in touch, and you know, you got to help me with my brand. You know, this is the mighty arm. You know, I've been working out, so I'm thinking I might have to make the logo bigger as my arms grow.
Oh yeah, get some definition in those guns. Yeah,
That's right.
You owe it to yourself.
I do. The arm looks kind of fat now that I look at it. It's kind of just chunky looking.
No judgment. No judgment.
No judgment. No, but it's good. All right. Well, thank you so much again, and we'll stay in
It's been a
touch.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, stay safe out there and go out and take some mighty action.